Hi everyone, in this video I want to do a review and comparison of the new SJCAM SJ8 series action cameras, SJ8 Air, SJ8 Plus and SJ8 Pro. All use the same body design, but the difference in menu structure and features is quite bigger than I expected. Now that's a first impression where all cameras record in the highest resolution, and an audio comparison where all cameras are placed outside their underwater case. Before I show you some more photos and video test footage, let's take a detailed look at the specs of those three cameras. The body design of all three SJ8 series cameras is basically the same. They have the same size, the body feels high quality with some kind of rubber finish. On one side there is a power button that also acts as mode switch button. Now that's convenient when placed inside the underwater case. On top there is the shutter button, and on the other side a door that covers a USB-C port. On the bottom there's a door for the battery and microSD card slot. Next to it there's a standard 1/4-inch tripod thread to mount accessories. The only visible difference is the 0.96-inch front display only featured on SJ8 Pro and SJ8 Plus. SJ8 Air doesn't have a front screen, and the model logo and the LEDs are arranged a bit differently. On the back, all cameras offer a 2.33-inch touchscreen monitor that is larger compared to ye 4K and GoPro, and the predecessor SJCAM SJ7 Star. As you can already see, the menu looks quite different on all three cameras. But before we jump into settings, let's compare the specs. SJCAM SJ8 Pro holds a 12-megapixel Sony IMX377 sensor. That's the same sensor also used in ye 4K Plus action camera. SJCAM SJ8 Plus also offers a 12-megapixel Sony sensor, but the inferior IMX117 model that is also used in SJ7 Star, Firefly 8S or GoPro Hero 4 Black. Interestingly, SJCAM SJ8 Air offers the largest sensor pixel-wise, a 14-megapixel Panasonic sensor. That has an effect on photo resolution, but more on that later. SJCAM SJ8 Pro holds the new Ambarella H22 processor that enables 4K resolution with 60 frames per second, but it's not the top of the line chipset, which is the H2 processor featured in ye 4K Plus. SJ8 Plus and Air feature a different brand, they hold a Novatek processor. SJ8 Plus holds a Novatek 96683 processor, and it seems this one enables image stabilization in 4K, since SJ7 Star with the same sensor doesn't offer that feature. SJ8 Air also offers a Novatek chipset, but the inferior 96658 model, the same one also used in SJ6 Legends. So what kind of resolutions and frame rates are offered by respective hardware? In 4K resolution, SJ8 Pro can shoot up to 60 frames per second, while SJ8 Plus offers a maximum of 30 frames per second. SJ8 Air doesn't offer 4K recording, not even interpolated. But there's another important factor to mention. In 4K with 30 frames per second, SJ8 Pro has a higher bitrate than SJ8 Plus. Let's check out the difference in the video comparison later on. In 2.7K resolution, SJ8 Pro and Plus offer a maximum of 60 frames per second. SJ8 Air is also not capable of 2.7K resolution. The highest resolution available is 1296p. In high definition 1080p, SJ8 Pro, same as SJ8 Plus, offer up to 120 frames per second. Currently the only camera I'm aware of that offers a higher frame rate is GoPro Hero 6 Black that can shoot 240 frames per second in 1080p. SJ8 Air can only shoot 30 frames per second in 1080p, which is a bit disappointing. At least 60 frames per second are desirable. while SJ7 can only shoot 200 frames per second in 720p, SJ8 Pro and Plus model can shoot 240 frames per second, a multiple of 30 frames per second. For SJ8 Air, again, only 30 frames per second are available in 720p. So what about image stabilization? To activate, you have to turn on the gyro sensor in the menu. Electronic image stabilization is available on SJ8 Pro as well as on SJ8 Plus, up to 4K resolution with 30 frames per second. But there's a difference. SJ8 Pro offers a 6-axis sensor, while SJ8 Plus only features a 3-axis sensor. Let's see the effect in the video comparison later. SJCAM SJ8 Air doesn't offer image stabilization at all. In terms of photo resolution, SJCAM SJ8 Air offers the highest resolution due to the 14 megapixel sensor, compared to the 12 megapixel sensor on the other cameras. But SJ8 Pro and SJ8 Plus offer RAW photo if you want to edit your photos on your computer. Another important item of action cameras is the battery. All SJ8 series cameras feature the same type of battery, which have a capacity of 1200 mAh, and that's an increase compared to SJ7 Star and SJ6 Legend, which only offer 1000 mAh. And it's similar to GoPro Hero 6 Black, which offers 1220 mAh. Of course, recording time varies depending on the resolution and frame rate you choose. As already mentioned, all cameras offer a USB-C port, which allows the use of an external microphone. Interestingly, only SJCAM SJ8 Pro offers a dedicated menu item to activate it. But SJCAM offers a microphone for the whole SJ8 series. I currently only have the 3.5mm adapter from Yeepa, which doesn't work for any of the cameras. I'll test the SJCAM microphone and the available settings once it arrives, so subscribe to my channel to get informed as soon as this video is uploaded. All three SJ8 series cameras are available in two packages, small box or full box. Small box, like my SJ8 Air, comes only with camera, battery, charging cable and manual, no underwater case. The full box comes with several mounts and accessories, handlebar mount, adapters, tripod mounts, flat and curved adhesive mount. The underwater case is included, and it also comes with a second back door that allows the use of the touchscreen. The standard door makes the case 30-meter waterproof. With the power button, you can change between the several modes of the camera. When using the touchscreen back door, it is only 3-meter waterproof, but you can access the full settings to change them while the camera is within the case. Now let's take a look at the available modes. As mentioned, the menu design looks different on SJ8 Pro, while SJ8 Plus and Air look pretty similar. 6 modes are available on all cameras. That's video recording, video time-lapse, photo, photo time-lapse, photo and video, where interval photos are taken while video is recording, and car mode, where the camera powers up automatically and starts recording when connected to a power source. Slow motion recording is only available on SJ8 Pro and Plus, since Air doesn't offer a frame rate higher than 30 fps. Photo burst with consecutive photos taken is also only available on SJ8 Pro and Plus. On SJ8 Plus and Air, you got an underwater mode where color is corrected, but on SJ8 Pro, you got an underwater mode in the white balance settings. 2 modes are only available on SJ8 Air, long exposure, but don't worry, you got shutter settings in SJ8 Pro and Plus which replace this mode, and you got a motion detection mode in SJ8 Air where the camera starts recording when a motion is detected within the frame, but it doesn't stop automatically. Now let's take a look at the home screen and start with SJ8 Pro. It offers the most information on the home screen. On top, you see the current mode, current recording time, and available time left on the SD card, an indicator for sound recording, and the battery status. On the side, there are magnifiers for the digital zoom. The digital zoom also works during video recording in the highest resolution and on all SJ8 series cameras. At the bottom, there are several icons that lead to specific menus. The rotary gets you to the device settings. Compared to the other cameras, there's a specific icon that gets you to the video or photo settings. When you press the info in the middle of the screen, you get to the mode menu. There is an extra icon to quickly change resolution and frame rates. And the play button gets you to the photo or video library. In the line above, date and time are displayed, as well as ISO settings if turned on in the menu. When you swipe left or right, you can switch between photo and video mode, and in photo mode, the shutter settings are displayed as well. I think it's great to see all that information on the home screen. When swiping down, you get to the quick menu to lock the screen and turn on or off Wi-Fi, FPV mode, that's video output, or the remote controller. The home screen looks the same on SJ8 Plus and SJ8 Air with less information and icons. Again, on the top there's the current mode, recording time, and battery status, and on the side the digital zoom. Now on the bottom there is just one icon to enter the settings and resolutions. Only on the next menu you can switch between video settings and device settings. Again, the mode icon in the middle leads to the mode menu. On the left there is the icon to enter the library. And above there is an indicator for audio recording, which is clickable compared to SJ8 Pro. On all SJ8 series cameras, you can swipe to switch between video and photo mode. When you swipe down for the quick menu, you can see a different compared to SJ8 Air, which doesn't have video output but power off icon instead. So which other notable differences are there among those cameras? Only SJ8 Pro offers 25 frames per second and a multiple of that, as well as 24 frames per second. Even though there is a TV mode setting, PAL NTSC, on SJ8 Plus and SJ8 Air, only NTSC with 30 frames per second are available. Only SJ8 Pro and SJ8 Plus offer distortion correction, which you can turn on if you don't like the fisheye effect of the wide-angle lens. Now here's a comparison. The top videos are without distortion correction and the ones below are taken with this setting turned on. While charging the batteries, SJ8 Plus and SJ8 Air display a loading battery image on the screen, but actually not the current status, only the info that the battery is charging. On SJ8 Pro there's just a small LED light indicating charging. Well, I prefer that, as I think the screens will be worn out faster if they're always on during charging. Of course, all SJ8 series cameras offer Wi-Fi to connect with the SJCAM app. Once connected, you can see the live footage of the camera and change modes and settings. Basically, the app options are the same on all cameras, but the screen design looks slightly different. Currently there is no video editing option within the app, but there's a social media platform by SJCAM to share your recordings. Now let's take a look at some test footage. All cameras are recording in their highest resolution with all settings on auto. Image stabilization is turned on SJ8 Pro and Plus. SJ8 Air doesn't offer that feature. SJ8 Pro shows the most natural colors with very good sharpness and clarity. Image stabilization works very smooth while walking and the camera balances the movements. By the way, the camera is mounted on a selfie stick. The colors on SJ8 Plus seem a bit more washed out with a warmer standard setting for white balance. Also, clarity and sharpness is lower. Stabilization is not as smooth compared to SJ8 Pro. SJ8 Air has a very cold standard white balance setting but more vivid colors than SJ8 Plus. Contrast and sharpness also seem to be higher than on SJ8 Plus. Now let's take a look at dynamic range when all cameras point towards the sun. The clouds in the sky show almost no detail on SJ8 Air. The whole area is overexposed. When switching to SJ8 Plus, you can see more details, clarity and structure in the sky. The result is almost the same for SJ8 Pro in this scenario, but keep dynamic range in mind while watching my further recordings. Next, I want to show you the details when I zoom into the video 300%. As mentioned before, SJ8 Pro has a higher bitrate than SJ8 Plus when recording in 4K with 30 FPS. Therefore, SJ8 Pro shows lots of details and the image is very sharp. The video of SJ8 Plus not only is a bit more washed out, it seems to be a bit blurry. SJ8 Air not only has lower resolution, but also a lower bitrate, resulting in less details and clarity. When it comes to photos, the difference is not as big as for videos. The photos are straight out of the camera and not edited, same as my videos. Similar to the videos, you can notice the most natural colors on SJ8 Pro. The colors on SJ8 Plus are again a bit more washed out and the image overall is brighter and warmer. SJ8 Air shows the least dynamic range and a very cold color setting. Still, contrast and sharpness are very high. Remember that SJ8 Air actually has the highest photo resolution, so when I zoom into the photo, you can see the most details and highest sharpness on SJ8 Air. But keep in mind that Air doesn't offer RAW photo, which is available on SJ8 Pro and Plus. Now back to videos and a roller coaster ride that was recorded with the cameras handheld as well. From the color and sharpness you can see the same results as in my tests before. SJ8 Pro has the best dynamic range, while SJ8 Air has a very cold standard white balance setting. Since SJ8 Air doesn't offer image stabilization, let's compare SJ8 Pro and SJ8 Plus for now. You can already see that SJ8 Pro copes way better with smaller shakes and wobbles. In this clip again, you can see the difference in dynamic range, also due to the higher bitrate of SJ8 Pro. As mentioned before, SJ8 Pro uses a 6-axis gyro, while SJ8 Plus only uses a 3-axis gyro, and that really pays off when it comes to image stabilization. The video of SJ8 Pro is way smoother, while you can notice the limitations of the stabilization on SJ8 Plus, which frequently shows a jerky movement, while SJ8 Pro seems to balance them out very well. So what's my conclusion? SJ8 Pro is the best SJCAM so far, but also the most expensive SJCAM. It offers great videos, I really like the natural colors, its clarity and the very smooth image stabilization. It will be very interesting to compare it with Yi 4K Plus and GoPro Hero 6 Black, which I want to do in my next video. The gap to SJ8 Plus is bigger than I thought at the beginning, and also justifies the price gap. Stabilization is not as good and the bitrate is lower, which is visible in the video recordings. Still, it's a great action camera that offers 4K video recording with image stabilization, and therefore I think it's overall better than SG7 Star. The gap to SJ8 Air is quite huge, so it can be seen as entry-level action camera that offers compatibility with the other SJ8 series cameras. It might be interesting for you if you don't want to spend that much money on an action cam and don't need 4K recording, even though I would invest a bit more money and go with SG6 Legend. You can compare the specs on my blog and in the video description below. I hope you liked my video. Feedback is appreciated in the comments below, where you can also ask further questions. I'm also happy if you subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching and see you soon.